Well, in other news, one of the policemen caught up in the untimely death of one St. George Kirby, everyone bow your heads,
bullshit?
Says his conscience is clear after getting 4.5 years in prison.
What?
Well, after seeing the autopsy reports,
Don't say it.
I can see why he said that.
It's true.
I'm Jazz Berganzo, and this is What's Next. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Jazz Berganzo, What's Next? Your daily dose of common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys stay cool and enjoy the day. Well, remember the summer protests in 2020? Yes, the lovely summer of love, where people were in the streets protesting calmly, coolly, and, singing Kumbaya, holding hands. It was just a love fest. To the tune of $5 billion worth of damages, over 24 cities burned, cops shot, houses, burned, stores looted, residents upended. But other than that, it was a great few months. Well, turned out one of the policemen that was involved in the untimely death of one St. George Kirby was just sentenced to 4.5 years in prison, but he says his conscience is clear. Well, those of us who've seen the autopsy reports, I can see why he said that. And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. My conscience is clear. Former policeman convicted of the death of St. George Kirby nearly gets 5 years in prison. The final former Minneapolis, Minnesota policeman convicted in his role in the May 2020 death of the untimely St. George Kirby was sentenced to more than 4 years in prison on Monday. Total previously said his role in the incident was holding back people who gathered at the scene as former policeman Derek Chauvin knelt on Kirby's neck prior to his passing, the Associated Press reported. During sentencing, Tao said his intentions were not to hurt anyone when the incident occurred. He also talked about how he had grown in his Christian faith while spending the past 340 days in prison. County lockup. I did not commit these crimes. My conscience is clear. I will not be a Judas nor join a mob in self-preservation or betray my God, he stated. Amen. In May, Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill found the former officer guilty of aiding and abetting in the untimely death. On Monday, the judge said, after 3 years of reflection, I was hoping for a little bit more remorse, regret, acknowledgement of some responsibility, and less preaching. Yes, who cares about your God? I'm not going to rehash all the facts from my order, which I found that the things you did and the things you didn't do made you guilty of this crime. Yes, guilt by association. Pretty much what the judge is saying. Tao's attorney, Robert Paul, is planning appeal, of course. In 2020, Tao's defense team argued that the body cam footage recorded at the scene of Kirby's passing proved that the now former officer should not face charges in the case, ABC News reported. The clip shows one bystander demanding the officers check Kirby's pulse and tell her the results. I'm not going to play the video. We've all seen it. The fact that you guys aren't checking his pulse and doing compressions if he needs them, you guys are on another level, one stated. In April, Chauvin's appeal for another trial was rejected after he was sentenced to more than 20 years in prison for the untimely passing of St. George Kirby, according to Breitbart News. Quote, Chauvin's recently pled guilty to tax evasion charges, and his ex-wife also pleaded guilty to similar charges, the outlet also noted, adding that the Minnesota Supreme Court ruled that in 2021 that he would have to pay for his attorney while appealing his conviction and sentence. The final officer, Tao, has stated that his conscience is clear. He has no regrets as far as what happened on that unfortunate day. Now, I'm not going to talk about Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin's on another level. The fact of the matter is that he's already appealed and he's going to take it to the Supreme Court. Fine. But when it comes to Tao, now, as I just stated, guilt by association. Now, some people said he stood there, did nothing, which makes him guilty. Basically equating him with the old adage that if you drove up to a bank, a bunch of people jumped out of the car, robbed the bank, you were the driver, you're guilty. Now, true, because you stood there and did nothing while they robbed the bank. But that doesn't apply here. I've seen the video multiple times, and I'm not going to rehash the incidents of St. George Kirby's untimely passing. But I will say this, is that for the judge to be so flippant in his comments, saying, well, you're not showing any remorse. You're not getting on your hands and knees. You're not begging for forgiveness. And then Tal says, I'm not going to be Judas. I didn't take 40 pieces of silver. Yeah. I ain't playing that game. The only one I have to be accountable is to him. We all do. Either now or later. But 4.5 years, I can see why his attorney's appealing. And more than likely, the appeal will probably be, will go through, and his years will be reduced, more than likely. He won't get completely free. He won't be acquitted. The charges won't be reversed. But what will happen, more than likely, is that those years will be cut down from probably 4.5 to 2.5. But, anywho, hopefully this is the final chapter in the untimely death of one St. George Kirby. Because, as we all know now, facts matter. The autopsy report is out there for everyone to see how the saint, the vaunted saint of fentanyl, truly passed away. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Borganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please have a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. And we'll catch you next time. Peace.